Hi friends, I am Dr. Muthuminaloshini, Department of English, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal. Let us move into the heart of darkness. So I hope this is the third lesson on heart of darkness. And this novella has been divided into three parts. First one is on his voyage into the first trading station, and the second one is his voyage to the central station, and the third book is about his voyage to inner trading company, inner station, that is. So in the previous lesson we have seen that what was his experience in the first trading station. Now let us move into the second book. What kind of experience Marlowe has got while he was in the central station. And here, after he spends few more days in the first trading center, and he moves along with native people and also with some other whites. He traveled to the interior of Congo in a caravan, and it has been carried by Negro people. So if any white man or if any Negro who fell ill during that walk, during their trip, they are not governed by anyone else. They are left just like that to die wherever they are. So just like that, they left people. They didn't value the life of people. So somehow or other way he crossed 200 miles by on foot, and then he reached the second place called, that is, central station of that trading company at last. And there he visited one Russian, and he talks more about Kurds. So through his mouth only Marlowe came to know about Kurds. Kurds is a very experienced person who trained native people, and he trained them to reform their ways, and he wanted to civilize them. So these are the things he heard from the Russian, and the Russian also shared that he only took care of Kurds while he was bedridden, but he is a very loyal, faithful servant to Kurds. In spite of everything, Kurds did not believe that Russian at all. He threatened him by saying that if you didn't hand over all the ivory in possession of that Russian, if you didn't hand over all those ivory, now I will kill you. Like that, the Russian was threatened by the Kurds. So moreover, he trusted Kurds to the core, and Marlowe came to know that about Kurds through this Russian, and he spends few more days in that place, and he came to know that his steamer was damaged a lot, and it was sinking, and he wants some rivets to make that steamer in a good condition to move from that place. And later he came to, while his stay in that central station, he came to know that his steamer was recovered, and then it was somehow repaired, and it is ready to go for a journey. And then at that time, he came to know that he has to visit Kurds some way or other way. He tried all the possible ways, but he has to go deep again into the inner station with the help of the natives. And on the 15th day, Marlowe reaches the river Congo and walks tiredly out into the central station of the Belgian company. So this is how he reached the central station. And then that central station is under the control of one manager. The manager thinks that the manager expects that then Kurtz will die and then he will get the top position. So and then he observes what are the things he observes in the central station uh, while he was living with the whites and the Negroes who are in that place. What kind of a situation is that? And he observed several situations. The whites are just whiling away that time. They didn't do any proactive things. They just gossiping. They are just talking ill of others, and their only aim is to gather the ivory which they found in African jungle. So that was their only motive, and they also gossiping whenever they have a time. And every one of them is swayed by a strong desire to get appointed to a trading center dealing in ivory. So they wanted to have a topmost position in that trading company to engulf all the ivory in possession of the African forest Congo. And then and one evening what happens in that place means the shed which is very close to a central station was set fire, and one Negro was caught by the white man and he was beaten black and blue. They thrashed him like anything, and they put the blame on the Negroes that they only set fire for that tent. So what has been kept in the tent? That is the glass beads and clothes which have to be given to the Negroes for exchange of the ivory, the valuable precious ivory they are going to get from the Negroes. So it was a very horrified sight for Marlowe. It is unbearable how the Negroes are treated by the whites, and this is how they are treated. The Negroes are treated as slaves. So Marlowe narrated all those events he underwent in his experience, and he started his journey towards the inner station. That was the only purpose he came. He came to rescue Kurtz, who was ill, who was very sick, who was bedridden. He knows that. So now at last he reached Kurtz, and he came to know that Kurtz was okay, he is alive. And then he wanted to rescue him. But the people, the native people who are around him, around Kurtz, they never like Kurtz to be part them. They wanted Kurtz to be with them always. They tried so many tricks to keep Kurtz among themselves, but they cannot, because Marlowe's duty is to bring back Kurtz to Brussels to recover him. So that he has to do. So at last he convinced the people, and then he got Kurtz inside the steamer in which he was traveling. But he was attacked by the natives also at that time, and one of the helmsmen of Marlowe's steamer was badly attacked and injured, and he died in the spot itself. On board of the steamer itself, he died. And what Marlowe can do, he cannot carry the dead body along with him. So he carried the helmsman and the body of the helmsman, and he threw it out in the water. And some natives also accompanying Marlowe. What they thought that if the dead body is on board, they could have that body as a food for them for 2 days, because the natives are just cannibals. So they thought in that way that they lost their food. So somehow he convinced the people and he got Kurtz. And after a few days, what happened on board of the steamer was Kurtz's condition was very serious, and he is about to die. At that time he called Marlowe, and he speaks that he is not going to survive anymore. He is going to die die all of a sudden. So before that, he wanted to convey some message. What is that? He handed over some letters and also photographs to Marlowe, and he said, Kurtz said to Marlowe that what are the ideas or the plans or the schemes he has in his mind to change that place, to reform that place, reform the place Congo. So that letter he has given to Marlowe, and one more photograph of his girlfriend whom he left in Brussels. He says that you give this letter, and then this photo. He showed this photograph, and he talked to Marlowe that you inform the news of me to to my girlfriend. Marlowe also accepts that, and what was the life in Congo when he about to say, Kurtz replied that it's only horror and horror. So that was the last word uttered by Kurtz in that steamer. And with a very heavy heart, Marlowe returned Brussels only after a year. So when he reached Brussels, it almost took him one year, and he tracked whereabouts of Kurt's girlfriend, and at last he finds her, and he conveyed her the death news of Kurt's, and she felt very sad because even for a year she was holding her mourning, and she cannot leave her thought of thinking about Kurtz, and she pondered that how much she loved Kurtz, and she wanted also to know, she wished to know that what was the last word of Kurtz. And Marlowe did not want to disappoint the girlfriend of Kurtz. He says, Kurtz, the last words was only about you. So he talks only about you, like that. He told her, and he does not want her disappointed over the death of Kurtz. And this is how he consoled her. He hides what was the truth behind her, and he thinks that if he tells the truth, she will be disappointed. So she hides the truth and just told her the lie, but it consoles her and it makes her live her entire life thinking only about Kurtz. And she promised also, and she talks generously about Kurtz now and then for the few minutes Marlowe spends with her. So this is how Marlowe narrates his experience to his fellow voyager, and the novel ends with a note that Marlowe was shown in a meditation position as if he has got enlightenment, just like Buddha. So just like Buddha, he sits quietly, very calmly, and he says that when he went inside the heart of darkness, that Congo, and he got enlightenment. That means the enlightenment about the mankind, enlightenment about the world, and his perception has entirely changed when he has got that kind of a voyage, and his idea totally changed. So that was reflected in the novel Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness. We could ask that what does it mean for this novel Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness is a revelation of mind, inner mind, we could say that. So once we have an experience into uninhabited place, our perception entirely changes, and our ideas entirely changes, our insight changes altogether, and we attain certain kind of maturity in us that is called enlightenment. And we have seen in um, uh, journey of the Magi. So in that poem also we could notice that once they took up the journey, and when they returned, their perception entirely changed. So like that, when they enter into the heart of darkness, it is believed that no one will come alive, but Marlowe came alive. So it's a kind of a hope, or hope or faith, and the continuous of life, and some kind of optimistic about life has been revealed through this novella, Heart of Darkness. Though the title represents something uh, pessimistically, but the novel ends with something optimistic outlook when Marlowe came to the shore, Brussels alive. So thank you for watching me in this video. I hope that you understand this novella, Heart of Darkness by uh, Joseph Conrad. I will meet you in the another lessons. Thank you so much, children. Bye.